Hello everyone, in this video we're gonna have a look at how to install SQL Server. That is SQL Server itself, SQL Server Management Studio, and we're gonna do a setup for a distant connection, which is change the port and enable a firewall rule. And finally we're gonna test the setup. So let's get on with it. So let's go to Google and enter SQL Server Express. We're gonna go with the 2016 version because it's the most recent, and the 2017 is still in beta. So we're gonna stick with the last year's version. Let's click on download now, and it should pop up on your screen. You might get a different result if you're using another browser, but I'm using Waterfox, so this is how it's showing up. Click on the custom installation and then just select the right folder for the media. So this will download all the stuff to this folder. So let's skip the download. Once this is done, just go to new SQL Server installation. And after a little while, it should open a new installation window. Let's click on next. It's loading a bit. So there you go. It says the Windows firewall might not be configured correctly, but we're gonna get to this point after. Let's check some features. We want the database engine. So all the main things, but some things you might not want. Just read the window on the right side, and it should tell you what you need. So I'll select only the engine. I don't need some of the things I don't need. Right at the bottom, you can select where you want your database to be stored. So it might be on another disk or whatever. You click on next when you're done choosing your options. You might get to this screen or to a similar screen if you're if you want to add some features later on or stuff like that. Here you can select the name of your instance. So depending on you might want to enter the name of your computer or something like that, but I'll just keep SQL Express for this tutorial. So we'll stick with the standard features here. We don't need the browser, we just need the main engine running. Let's click on next. It's taking a while. So now you have the options to keep using only Windows authentication mode, or you can switch to both, mixed mode. If you're in mixed mode, you'll have to choose a password for the SA account. We're gonna do a test run of both accounts later on, just to show you the difference. So now we're installing the thing. So once this is done, which might take a little while, but I just sped up for the video purposes, then you can click close, and then we'll install SQL Management Studio, which will help you manage your databases without using the command line. This is a really strong tool. The tool, you can create databases, create table, and all sorts of stuff with it. It's really powerful. So go to the internet again and go on Google and write SQL Management Studio. Then you should get to this page or a page similar to this. Click on Download Management Studio 17.2, and then it will download. While we're at it, maybe just go on in the services section to make sure that our instance of SQL Server is running. So you can see that the service is running, SQL Express. It starts automatically. You might want to change this if you don't want the SQL Server to start when your computer starts. So once this is done, you can just double click on the exe that's been downloaded, and it's going to open this screen. And then after the installation is done, you can click close. And then you might have an icon on your start menu, or maybe you'll have to go in the all tab to find it. But it's gonna be SQL Server Management Studio 17. You can also click on the Windows side and Q to and do a search on your computer for the software. So here's the interface. So you can add localhost /SQL Express. And now we're just going to log in with the Windows authentication. So here's how you log in with the Windows authentication. Click on databases. There's nothing there, but you can right click and create a new database and all that. Right click and then disconnect. And then we'll just do a test with the SA account, which is not using Windows authentication, but rather just SQL authentication. So you can just click on Windows authentication and switch for SQL Server authentication, and then enter SA and your password. The SA account normally has more privileges than your local account, if my memory is good. Okay, now to enable your computer to be able to serve SQL Server to other computers, you have to go in the configuration console and then go on protocols for SQL Server and enable IP, so TCP IP. And after that, you have to restart your server. Once it's done, right click on TCP IP properties, and then you can change the second tab, which is IP addresses, to 1433, which is the right port for SQL Server, actually the default port. After that, you can go in the firewall by typing Windows sign Q and then firewall, and then going into advanced options, and then you should see a screen like that. Find SQL Server somewhere or create a new rule, and then you can enter the port 1433. Now you'll see that we're not sure which scope we're in with our network card, so we'll have to go and see in the control panel, network and sharing center, and then we'll see the scope. So right now it's a public network. Go back into the firewall, advanced settings, and then go back to the rule, SQL Server, and make sure you enable the right scope. into advanced. So now public is enabled. So this should give us the permission for the other computers to connect. So now for the setup test, we'll try to connect to our server from another computer using the server's IP address. So enter the server IP address and your SA account, and it should work as follows. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, feel free to subscribe, and I hope to see you in a future video. Bye bye.